During my childbirth, my husband, Ethan, was by my side in the hospital, chatting animatedly with the woman in the next door bed. After we got back home, he started to spruce himself up. He took care of his skin, went on a diet, and bought new clothes. He was full of energy. But after just a few days of being so lively, he stopped wearing perfume and gave up working out. After work, he would just lie on the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling in a daze, as if he'd lost his soul. I guessed he'd broken up. It was so pitiful that he had to bear the pain of a broken heart alone, not daring to let his family know. I wanted to go over and offer him a tissue, but I was afraid of disturbing his just calmed mind. So I comforted him. "Don't be sad. I'll ask my boyfriend to come and have a drink with you." He burst into tears with a whimper and kept saying how kind I was. In fact, I didn't have a boyfriend. From pregnancy to childbirth, the baby had drained all my energy. I had no interest in dating anyone. All I felt every day was tiredness, exhaustion, and an indescribable sense of powerlessness. I couldn't even muster up the anger when I found out my husband was in love with someone else. Ethan wasn't a typical jerk. On the contrary, from our dating days to the birth of our child, he'd done almost everything perfectly. When I was newly pregnant, I had severe morning sickness and many dietary restrictions. He learned new recipes every day to cook for me. When my mood swings due to hormonal changes made me lose my temper at him, he always comforted me patiently. When I cried, he'd kiss away my tears, hold me in his arms like a child, and gently rock me while patting my back. When I laughed, he'd laugh along with me like a fool, even if he didn't understand what was funny. He said just seeing me smile made him happy. In the 3rd trimester of my pregnancy, I was always clumsy and my body ached. I often had leg cramps at night. He taught himself about health preservation and massage. Every day, he'd fetch water for me to soak my feet. And after that, he'd use his long, delicate fingers to knead my limbs until his fingers were too sore to continue. Before going to sleep, he'd press his cheek against my growing belly, imagining what our future child would look like. He said my eyes were beautiful and hoped the baby would have my eyes. Then he said my mouth, eyebrows, and every part of me were beautiful. He said if the child could only inherit one thing from him, he hoped it would be his love for me that would last a lifetime. He joked that when we were old, we'd still hold hands every day, making those old men doing square dancing jealous. Now that the baby was born, it looked just like him, and his promise of loving me for a lifetime had become a joke since Olivia appeared. When Olivia first showed up, I felt sorry for her. She was only 19, deceived by a jerk, and pregnant out of wedlock. She came to the hospital alone for the delivery. The hospital refused to admit her unless she found a family member. She had to call her mother. Her mother looked younger and more fashionable than her. She never even glanced at Olivia, signed the form with a cold face, threw down a stack of money, and left. Maybe Ethan also felt sorry for her and would help her whenever he could. Our due dates were close. When I couldn't eat because the fetus was pressing on my stomach in the 3rd trimester, Olivia also stayed in bed all day without eating. When Ethan made my favorite mackerel dumplings and begged me to have a couple, he also brought a portion for her. Olivia cried silently for 2 hours because of those ugly-looking dumplings. A beautiful woman in tears was truly heart-wrenching. I just didn't expect that from then on. Her eyes would always shine when she looked at Ethan. She'd smile and say thank you to him in a light and cheerful tone. Every time he made something delicious for me, he'd always bring a share for her. Olivia would always finish it all and then give him a sunny smile, saying cutely that she envied me for having such a handsome, gentle, and devoted husband. Ethan was indeed a very good husband, and many people said they envied me, so I didn't think much about it. until the day Olivia was about to give birth. She came to us pitifully, asking if my husband could help her. Her mother was abroad and couldn't come back, and she couldn't handle it alone. It was a matter of life and death. I hesitated a bit, but my husband didn't refuse. I couldn't be so heartless at such a critical moment. Olivia Martinez safely gave birth to a daughter and was wheeled back to her hospital room. Ethan followed by the bedside with a beaming smile, the two chatting happily. What he didn't know was that my water had broken too, but I lay immobilized by weakness, unable to reach the call button, clawing at the bed rails until they bore deep grooves. I fought to stay conscious through the agony. When Ethan finally returned to my bedside looking carefree, his face contorted with panic, his voice cracked as he screamed for doctors. During the emergency C-section, I drifted in and out of consciousness. As they wheeled me out of surgery, Ethan clung to me weeping uncontrollably. He poured out apologies, praised my strength, voiced his fears yet never mentioned regretting accompanying another woman through childbirth. I knew Ethan was fundamentally kind. During my week-long hospital stay, nurses marveled at his meticulous care. When incision pain struck, he offered his hand to bite rather than let me suffer silently. He cried watching nurses press my abdomen for gas expulsion. "You're making me sentimental," he sniffled. "The thought of losing you. I can't bear it." His sincerity felt real, especially when Olivia came to apologize after her swift recovery from vaginal birth. I saw genuine fear in Ethan's eyes as she entered terror that I might hold grudges. Though we never discussed it again, his guilt lingered. Their connection ran deeper than I'd imagined, their bond stronger than he'd ever admitted. When Olivia prepared for discharge, Ethan fretted over her departure. "Where are you staying? Who'll help you?" he badgered. My offhand suggestion, "Why don't you take her home?" froze them both in guilty silence. Ultimately, Olivia left with a stern-faced man she called uncle, her demeanor oddly submissive. After my own discharge, I noticed changes. Ethan started using my skincare products, bought yoga mats and weights, began 6 a.m. workout routines. His phone became a constant companion, eliciting frequent giggles. Watching him felt like catching a teenage son mid-romance, pitifully transparent yet oddly endearing. "Need to visit the office after this long leave," Ethan announced one morning, preening before the mirror. He'd woken 2 hours early to groom 3 outfit changes. Hair product, eyebrow trimming, cologne spritzing. As he leaned in for a goodbye kiss, I turned my face away with undisguised revulsion. His smile faltered. When I faked sneezes, panic flooded his features. The charade was crumbling, his elaborate performance collapsing under its own weight. Yet still he reached for me, the compulsion to maintain appearances overriding all else. "What's wrong, honey? Not feeling well?" I instinctively raised my arms defensively, blocking Ethan from approaching. "Stay back." My tone was icy, laced with simmering irritation. Ethan looked at me with a wounded expression, as though I'd personally wronged him. Suppressing my rising anger, I brushed him off. "My nose is sensitive these days. Can't handle perfume." He pressed his lips together, saying nothing. As someone perceptive, Ethan clearly recognized my resistance. He knew I'd seen through his facade. But once this man sets his mind on something, neither people nor circumstances can sway him. "Should I head to work then?" I nodded calmly, offering a non-committal hum. After lingering awkwardly for a few moments, Ethan finally left. The click of the closing door brought immediate relief. If he could choose others, it meant he believed life without me would improve. Then I saw no reason to honor our vows anymore, those promises of loyalty and devotion through poverty or wealth. What Ethan never discovered was this: before marriage, I owned 3 companies, 5 luxury cars worth millions each, 16 properties, and 9-figure savings. As a new mom on maternity leave and a stay-at-home mom who'd stopped accumulating wealth post-wedding, divorcing him would be laughably simple. My assets remained entirely separate from his. He'd owe me half his post-marriage earnings. With our child being so young, custody would unquestionably go to me. Add to that my resources to hire top-tier attorneys worldwide. Plus his proven infidelity, destroying him would be easier than flipping a page. But I wanted more than victory. He needed to understand, when I loved him, he was perfection. Now that I don't, crossing me means picking a fight he'll regret. Blissfully unaware, Ethan remains intoxicated by his flirtation with Olivia. Were he not my husband, I might have even rooted for them. Every voice message from Olivia finds him pressing his phone to his ear, savoring each syllable. Not a single one of her social media posts escapes his eager likes. Sometimes Olivia even tags him in subtle humble brags, gifts he's given, meals he's cooked, visits to her apartment. The public displays I've witnessed alone exceed a hand's count. My husband always responds with strings of ha 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 beneath her posts. Glimpses of his photo gallery reveal it's stuffed with Olivia's selfies, all fresh-faced allure and calculated innocence. Some resemble my younger self. I haven't taken selfies in ages. Gaining 30 pounds during pregnancy left me with lingering puffiness and skin discoloration postpartum. My beauty simply can't compete with youth anymore. Ethan either doesn't notice these changes or doesn't care. When there's newer, shinier toys outside, domestic tranquility becomes sufficient. Men's greed knows no bounds, even princes covet their brides' handmaidens. They want everything until death stills their appetites. The man who once orbited me like a devoted satellite now spends hours grinning at his phone. The sweet, shy smile was tinged with helpless affection. Younger women always garnered more sympathy. Having shared a hospital room before, I'd added Olivia Martinez on WeChat. We belonged to several mutual mom groups, spaces for venting, gossiping, daily chatter, selling baby gear, and occasional mental breakdowns. I often lurked, enjoying the drama. That day, Olivia suddenly asked in the group, "Can we, during postpartum recovery?" Most members used anonymous aliases, so explosive topics weren't unusual. She followed up with detailed context, 20 days postpartum. C-section for 7 pounds baby boy. My hubby's been so attentive, incisions healing well. No stretch marks. Only gained 10 pounds. And upgraded 2 cup sizes to D. Not breastfeeding, so sometimes they get swollen. Last time he massaged them, he couldn't control himself. Spicy. I quickly screenshot and saved it to a dedicated folder. Replies flooded in frowny face, so jealous. Manifesting angel baby boy. Ugh. Mine acts like he's the one recovering from childbirth. Same. My guy calls me fat and nags about dieting before my incision heals. Olivia reacted with performative sympathy. Oh no. You poor things. Practical responses emerged: frowny face and no activities. Risk lifelong complications. Healing takes months, no strenuous movement. And watch your man. Remember those postpartum cheating scandals? Olivia then betrayed the sisterhood by dropping a screenshot her chat with Ethan Thompson. Olivia, honey. They all say I should monitor you. Ethan, don't mind those bitter hags. Baby. Just jealous of my gorgeous girl. The group erupted. After getting kicked out, Olivia posted a tearful post on social media: "Young pretty moms get bullied." My husband comforted her: "Don't waste energy on haters." I liked it to bookmark the evidence. Olivia instantly replied to him, "Hug me, hubby," then deleted it. But I'd already screenshot it. More ammo for my collection. Did she think this would break me? Please. Her impatience would be her downfall. Since Ethan started openly seeing her, he'd been working late constantly. I hired a PI instead of confronting him, better to gather proof. But after Olivia's provocation, I decided to accelerate things. That morning, Ethan rushed to leave. I blocked the door. The baby needs vaccinations. You take him. He checked his watch irritably. Can't reschedule? I've got urgent tasks. The pediatrician's booked solid. I feigned ignorance. You should have told me earlier. He scowled, dialing his phone. The other party answered quickly. Ethan launched into his rehearsed excuse for taking time off. I pulled out my phone and played a voice message. Hello, William. Ethan needs to take our baby for vaccinations today. He'll require a full day's leave. William responded, leave? MS. Anderson. He's already been on a month-long paternity leave. Ethan's face drained of color. Smiling sweetly, I asked, who exactly are you requesting leave from? Honey? Ethan lied through his teeth. It's a client from my side hustle. He's been sending me to negotiate projects these past few days. Oh, I drew out the syllable. Amusement dancing in my eyes at his pathetic acting. Seriously. I took this consulting gig 3 months ago. Ethan insisted. It's a startup. Pretty unstable. I just sell them solutions remotely as a consultant. I hummed in mock agreement. I believe you. Ethan immediately counterattacked. How do you know William? He called you a mess. Anderson. Of course, because I'd personally recruited William to babysit this incompetent Nepo hire. 3 years of hand-holding had skyrocketed William from sales rep to deputy director with 700% salary increases. Did Ethan think promotions came from merit? Pathetic. In corporate America, hustle without connections gets you nowhere. We met through business dealings. I shrugged. Only recently discovered he's your supervisor. Ethan pouted. You should have told me sooner. I could have been promoted ages ago. But he keeps blocking it. Then came the classic blame shift. Must have offended him somehow. So he's taking it out on me. There we go, perpetual victim complex. I've no idea how this happened. I feigned ignorance before changing subjects. Now hurry and take the baby for shots. I'm still recovering and can't join you. This'll have to be your solo mission. Ethan reluctantly agreed. The moment he left, Olivia's message popped up. MS. Anderson. Do newborns get vaccinated at 20 days? Which immunization is this? Followed by transparent backtracking. You know I have no family guidance here. Could you advise me? I decided to have fun. Why not ask my husband? After an awkward pause, she replied, You're really that trusting of Ethan? I sent a chuckle-tinged voice note, naturally. Since you're calling him hubby, your child is his responsibility too. What nonsense. I never called him that. Olivia panicked. I wholeheartedly support your romance. Watching others' love stories is so entertaining. I deadpanned. Have you lost your mind? She fired back. My mental health's impeccable. I countered. This situation's completely normal. Don't be shy. You're seriously disturbed. Olivia spluttered before playing her trump card. I just asked about the baby. Why accuse me of seducing your husband? The hypocrisy made me laugh aloud. Who said anything about seduction? 2 consenting adults dating isn't a crime. My tone turned mock serious. Without morals. I couldn't be morally blackmailed. Deviating from her script was delicious. You're such a pick-me girl. Olivia screeched. Where's your proof we're dating? Aw. The classic bluff. Amateur. Fine. No dating it is. I conceded. Then I'll stop sending him to your place for those D-cup massage sessions. Agreed? Silence. Then. You're insane. The blocked icon appeared instantly. That's it? I'm not done yet. When Ethan gets back, I'll have some fun with him. Ethan returned visibly dejected. His carefully styled appearance clashing with the exhausted demeanor of someone who'd sold his soul to the grind. Back so soon? I asked. He complained. The hospital didn't have our appointment slot. The doctor said that vaccine you mentioned can't be given until the baby's a month old. A month? Guess my mom brain's kicking in already. I shrugged, taking our sleeping son from his arms to settle him in the nursery. Credit where it's due, Ethan's surprisingly good with kids. If he weren't so busy babysitting other people's lives, I'd hire him as a nanny. Too bad he's greedy, always eyeing the next shiny thing. Whether it's career moves, relationships, or even childcare. Did anyone come by today? Ethan suddenly asked. Yep. I answered breezily. Your girlfriend didn't believe you were taking the baby for vaccines. Tried to fish for info. He froze like a deer in headlights. I told her to ask you directly. But she called me crazy. I continued, patting his arm. Sweetie, you can't just date girls for their looks. These young things have no emotional maturity. Ethan gaped at me as if I'd grown a second head. She's throwing a tantrum. Isn't she? I counseled gently. Young girls need constant coddling, blow up her phone. Send overpriced lattes. Maybe some jewelry. Skip the flowers though, I might sneeze during postpartum recovery. What the hell are you talking about? He spluttered. No need to be shy. I chuckled, adopting a maternal tone. I'm not some prude, you're old enough to date. Just don't let it interfere with responsibilities. I paused meaningfully. Your current distracted state? Not a good look. His expression shifted from panic to cautious relief, utterly missing the point that he should feel remorse. Not even a flicker. You knew? He asked awkwardly. And you're okay with it? What if I weren't? I countered. Would you dump her? After a loaded pause. He muttered. She's just a kid. So it's just a fling? I raised an eyebrow. Take responsibility, don't embarrass the family name. It's not like that. He hedged. She's young, beautiful, needs me, any man would fall for that. As I stayed silent, he added, but if I had to choose between you two. Olivia's call interrupted. He answered urgently. Don't cry. Baby, I'm coming right now. Hanging up. He turned to me, she broke a vase and cut her foot. I need to check on her. Go ahead. I smiled. But if you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. Sophia. Stop being difficult. He frowned. She's just a child. Why pick on her? I'm picking on you. I said coldly. Who do you think you are, playing house while married? And who do you imagine I am? Her mother's the operations manager at Fortune Group. He blurted. You know I've wanted that promotion. You're already a deputy director. Fortune can't match your salary. I cut in. Climb the ladder all you want. But don't disguise your midlife crisis as ambition. Why phrase it so harshly? He protested as Olivia called again, demanding his arrival. Snatching his phone. I said brightly. I told you. Olivia, he's not available anymore. You. She shrieked. Jealous old hag. What am I jealous of? I laughed. That you got knocked up before marriage then dumped. Left alone to deliver your bastard? Or that you're home-wrecking trash? Olivia burst into theatrical sobs, sending Ethan into immediate distress. When Ethan tried to comfort her, she lashed out, threatening to break up. If you won't divorce your wife, don't ever contact me again. She blocked him before storming off. Ethan collapsed onto the couch, entering his own pathetic version of postpartum depression. He spent days staring blankly at ceilings, obsessively scrolling through old texts and photos of their affair. Sometimes he'd show me screenshots, reminiscing about inside jokes from their special moments at coffee shops or parks. Charming. I deadpanned. Forward those to me. He jolted awake from his delusion, suddenly remembering I'm his wife, listening to him gush about his mistress. 3 days later at dawn, I found him sniffling in bed. There. I offered a tissue. I'll call my boyfriend to console you. Boyfriend? He whirled around. Since when? Since 10 minutes from now. I started drafting a social media post. Athletes needed generous compensation. His hand shot out to grab my phone. Sophia. Enough. Ethan's voice cracked. You've changed. I snorted. And you haven't? He deflated like week old balloons. Let's fix this. I'll end things with her. Okay? His arms reached for me. I kicked him off the bed. Spare me. Your fling gets called falling in love, but mine's self-destruction? Hypocrite much? Ethan gaped in the darkness as I continued. I never forced you to dump her. You're the one getting blocked after bombarding her with calls. If you really loved her, you'd have crawled through hell to see her. He crawled back sheepishly. You're right. It was temporary insanity. Besides, his voice dropped to conspiratorial whisper. We never actually, you know. I rolled so hard my eyes hurt. I swear. He raised trembling fingers. Just cooked for her and babysat. Nothing physical. How noble. I slow clapped. Playing house for months, diaper changes. Midnight feedings, all for some second base action? Such restraint. Or should I say, limitations. His face cycled through traffic light colors. Can't we just move forward? No. I've already compromised and come back to the family. What more do you want? He spoke as if he'd made some grand sacrifice. The truth was, he couldn't keep his young mistress happy and failed to placate the tigress at home. Useless on both fronts. Yet he still dared raise his voice at me. I kicked him off the bed again. Disgusting trash. I want you to die a miserable death. Must you be so relentless? Ethan looked at me with pleading eyes. Relentless? I scoffed. Tomorrow, you'll learn what true relentlessness means. Ethan left. Whether he slept on the couch or ran to his girlfriend's place. I didn't care. Sleepless. I texted my lawyer. To my surprise, Jason replied instantly at 3 a.m. Can't sleep? He asked. Just had a fight. I never hid anything from him. Absolute trust yielded better legal strategies. Unexpectedly, he called immediately. I hesitated, the youngest deputy director at a top-tier firm. His consultation fees billed by the minute. Would I find an invoice in my inbox after this? Hello? Was the altercation about the custody case? Any physical violence? Evidence? Now that's professionalism. None, wait. I kicked him twice. Does that count? Jason chuckled. His voice warm. Not without medical reports. Then came the real question, the court summons arrives tomorrow. Should we request temporary separation? Inspiration struck. Great idea. I'll convince him to move in with his girlfriend tonight. Jason paused. I'm curious. Do you feel any anger at all? You're the calmest client I've ever had. When he stayed with her during her delivery while I endured childbirth alone. Nothing could hurt worse. My indifference wasn't numbness, I'd severed emotional ties that very moment. Someone destined to become irrelevant deserved no emotional investment. After a beat of silence, Jason said the most romantic words I'd ever heard, I'll make him pay. From Jason, that wasn't empty poetry but a golden promise. True to his word. The summons arrived next morning, with Ethan shacked up at Olivia's place. I signed for it myself. The court date fell exactly 1 week later, the day my postpartum confinement ended. Meanwhile, Ethan seemed thoroughly enjoying his extended sleepover. His social media flooded with couple selfies, prompting confused DMs from our mutuals in the mommy group chat. Sophia, that airhead's boyfriend looks just like your husband. I replied cheerfully, that is my husband. Sweet girl. Isn't she? Look how happy he looks. Are you okay? Came the concerned response. The group flooded with comforting messages, their warmth almost tangible. When court day arrived, I called Ethan. He didn't pick up, the airhead did. You said not to let him come. But he showed up anyway? Your words mean nothing. Olivia warned me, stop wasting your energy. You're old. He doesn't love you anymore. And he's not coming back. Good riddance. That means I get to keep the house and money all to myself. I teased her like she was a puppy. She took the bait immediately, shrieking, in your dreams. Those belong to my husband. Sure. They're all your husband's. How about we divorce and leave everything to you? I continued prodding. Stop being sarcastic. Are you insane? Olivia was nearing her breaking point. No sarcasm here. I said calmly. Adult matters are beyond you. Put Ethan on the phone. Olivia protested. But Ethan snatched the phone. He tried playing tough. I'm happier here than I ever was with you. I'm not coming back. Don't bother. Meet me at the district court tomorrow. I've already filed for divorce. What? On what grounds? Sophia. You can't do this. His last shred of hope evaporated. The grounds being irreconcilable differences. Obviously. I explained with kindergarten teacher patience, savoring every note of panic in his voice and Olivia's terrified squeals. When Ethan tried barging into my home later, Jason's security team blocked him at the gate. Worth every penny of that premium law firm's fees. Desperate, Ethan started filming with his phone, accusing me of hiding marital assets, pathetic compared to the 3 gigabytes of photos and screenshots from my private investigator. Jason had even crafted a damning PowerPoint chronicling Ethan's affair with Olivia during my pregnancy, complete with timestamps and financial trails. Top-tier professionals really do deliver gourmet-grade work, even when documenting trash. Your Honor, my client endured the ultimate betrayal when she was most vulnerable, Jason declared in court. Olivia paled in the gallery, crumbling under public scrutiny, though her crocodile tears couldn't wash away the evidence. The defendant's actions violate both personal trust and societal values. We seek dissolution of marriage with Ethan forfeiting all marital assets. Ethan spluttered, I just made a mistake any man could make. She contributed nothing, I earned everything. The judge shut him down, domestic labor holds equal value. Given the overwhelming evidence of misconduct. All premarital assets. Joint properties. Vehicles. $300. 000 savings. Corporate shares. 5 luxury cars. 16 properties. And $580 million cash are awarded to Mess. Anderson. Ethan collapsed. Impossible. Where did you get that money? Earned it myself. I shrugged as Olivia gaped. Their stolen romance now came with a poverty-stricken forever. You lied. That's fraud. Ethan howled, thrashing on the floor until bailiffs dragged him out. Olivia stared at me with dawning horror. Her trophy husband now came with less than 0 value. Congratulations on your prize. I smiled sweetly. May you enjoy every bankrupt moment. Her face went sheet white, knees hitting the courtroom tiles. The sweetest victory was watching the homewrecker realize she'd wrecked her own future. Sophia Anderson sneered at Olivia Martinez. I used to like you. Keeping you around as my husband's mistress and watching you two play out this reality show romance was mildly entertaining. But you just had to push your luck and actually get together. Ethan Thompson crawled on his knees towards Sophia, begging, Honey, I was wrong. She seduced me. You know you're the only one I love. Olivia looked like she'd been slapped, her face pale with humiliation as she glared daggers at Sophia. Really? Sophia taunted Ethan. I'm not feeling the love. How about proving it? What happened next shocked everyone. Ethan lunged at Olivia, brutally slapping her face over and over. The pretty young woman who'd prided herself on maintaining perfect composure now writhed on the floor, publicly humiliated by the very man she'd sacrificed her reputation, morals, and dignity to be with. Pathetic creature. Enough. Ethan. I believe you. His face lit up. Then let's fix this. Honey. We don't need to divorce. Right? Sophia smiled coldly. Wrong. You sealed your fate the moment you chose her. The only difference is I'm fortunate enough to still have wealth. Her gaze turned icy. If I were just some broke stay-at-home mom without resources, unable to hire the world's best lawyers or even understand basic legal rights, would you still regret this? The silence was deafening. You wouldn't. Sophia answered for him. You'd be relieved to ditch the deadweight and chase your precious first love. A bitter laugh escaped her. Except you destroyed that first love yourself. Didn't you? As Olivia lunged at Sophia in rage. Two new figures entered, Olivia's powerhouse mother and intimidating uncle from the Martinez family. The young woman froze. She'd always feared her emotionally distant mother. But her uncle truly terrified her. These were the same relatives who funded her lavish lifestyle. During Ethan's time away, Olivia had showered him with luxury gifts, all meticulously documented in their cringeworthy social media posts. The Martinez heiress had cleverly hidden these expenses as childcare costs from her family. Too bad Sophia's thrifty nature couldn't abide women bankrolling deadbeat men. She'd forwarded all evidence to Olivia's relatives. Mom! Uncle! She's trying to ruin me! Olivia shrieked, attempting to play victim. Crack! Her mother's palm left an angry red mark on Olivia's face. You disgrace! How dare you sleep with Mrs. Anderson's husband? Olivia gaped in shock. Ethan looked ready to faint. As Sophia watched the drama unfold, her lawyer Jason Clark delivered the final blow. By the way, Mrs. Anderson's pregnancy has been difficult, frequent leg cramps, constant discomfort. I've been studying prenatal massage techniques to help. Ethan staggered like he'd been shot. You're pregnant? Surprise. Sophia deadpanned, nodding toward Olivia's mortified relatives. They just found out too. The Martinez siblings hung their heads in shame while Ethan began hysterically slapping himself. I'm blind. Stupid. A fool. Olivia's mother dragged her wailing daughter away for more punishment. But Sophia had lost interest. She turned to Jason. Clean house. Every Martinez associate at the firm gets fired by noon. Watching the chaotic scene, Sophia felt nothing but contempt. Parents who failed to discipline their children shouldn't act shocked when those kids grew into morally bankrupt adults. Too little. Too late. No matter how much I wanted to teach, it was no longer possible. Jason and I turned to leave. Ethan tried to hassle me again, but Jason's personal security dragged him out. Jason filed for a restraining order on my behalf, and the court granted it immediately. Stepping out of the courthouse, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders I hadn't realized I'd been carrying. This whole circus was finally over. Let karma take care of the traitors. I'm moving forward with my life, surrounding myself with people who actually deserve me, ready to write the next chapter.